Hi, welcome. Welcome to Cardinal Rose Tarot. I'm just going to wait and get everything set up here a little bit, wait for some folks to arrive maybe. It's always a gamble whether I'm going to be able to monitor the chat or not based on how strong the signal is, or happens to be. So, it says I'm streaming, but so far this hasn't caught up. It says, I think I can see that there's a couple people in here. Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm not sure why it's not loading on my tablet, but it might be that I don't have a strong enough signal and I'm not going to be able to use my tablet and monitor the chat. So let me try one more thing. Because maybe... Oh yeah, it's saying it's live. Oh yeah, it's saying it's... Okay, great. So hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. I see that there's somebody in the chat. Welcome. So my name is Cynthia. This is a Gift of the Magi layout that I like to do every season, this time of year. And I usually do several of them. I do several of these layouts all the way through New Year's. And I really love how they turn out, honestly. I just think they come out really nicely. If you watch my channel, you know normally I don't have like a template laid out, but because this is a layout that's based on the image of the Magi following the star to Bethlehem, I like to use this historic deck to lay it out. So here's the heavens representing the Star of Bethlehem. Here are the three kings, the King of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. And then I chose the King of Swords to represent us because swords represent truth. And so we're here asking for truth about a current circumstance, right? And then I also used the Magician card, the Magus, or the Magician, because the Magi were magical practitioners. It's thought that the Magi were actually Zoroastrians. It's believed that they were Zoroastrian priests, and that the journey that they took to Bethlehem based on the prophecy and the star appearing would have taken several months. So it was a huge undertaking for them to go and greet the newborn king, right, that had been prophesied. And so the reason that I like to have this Magus card present is just in honor of the Magi. The hat that he wears is representative of the hats that the Zoroastrian priests wore. They're also known by a name called Phrygian hats, which have a really interesting history behind them. They're spelled Phrygian, I think, and I really recommend researching all of this. It's super interesting. I got obsessed with the Magi about 4 years ago now, and just wondered, all of a sudden they just consumed me. I was like, who were the Magi? I want to know, like, who were they thought to be? What's the story? Another really interesting fact about them is that the three Magi's skulls, or the other name for this is reliquary, bone and fragments that were considered part of the bodies of the saints and sacred spiritual people from the Christian faith, and maybe others too. I don't know. I'm not a religious teacher. Okay, so I'm just curious as a person, so I study this kind of thing. But their skulls are in Cologne, Germany, in a Catholic cathedral there. What are thought to be the skulls of the Magi as reliquaries. They're like sacred objects behind glass. They're encased. People go in and like proceed in a procession past, and you can see them up there, right? It's super interesting. And I guess they did like some dating, some scientists did dating on the skulls and found that they're from the right time period. So they could be the Magi, right? So it's really just really interesting. They have names too. They're named in the Bible, who they were. I can only remember one because his name was Melchior, and my ex last name is Melchiori. He's Italian, and so when I learned that too, I was like, wow, that's cool. That name is ancient too, I think, right? Probably. So anyways, it looks like someone's here in the chat. Thank you. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here and for commenting. So let's just get into it. This reading, there was a preliminary poll that I did for the collective message, and I did it earlier today because I thought maybe I'll pull some cards to get a theme ahead of time. And a theme came out, and it was about plagiarism and an ending of a partnership based on plagiarism and theft of your creative work. There was some type of fracturing of a relationship because of this kind of a falling out. So it could be a romantic relationship or a business partnership, right? I don't know. I didn't get a ton of details. Some of the letters that came through, the name Aaron, the masculine spelling, Aaron. So somebody named Aaron, this reading may have relevance for you. COVN, so maybe coven or cove or cave. Those were also letters that came through. And then Stan. And I took that to mean Stan, like an obsessed fan kind of after the song, but it might actually be somebody named Stan too. I don't know. Thank you. Hi, Warrior Inc. Thank you for the compliment on my setup. I like it too. So I appreciate the kind words. So let's just see what wants to come out about this, because it looked like it was kind of a tense situation. But before, well, I'll get into that later, because I had something else going on that I just is coming through that is bugging me, and I want to talk about it, but it's not about tarot. It's more about like conspiracy theory type stuff. So I'll get into that after the general message. But let's see what wants to come out here. What do we need to know about this parting of ways, a severing of a relationship where there was some kind of a betrayal and maybe a feeling of a theft from you in some way? The text that came out was plagiarism or creative work. So you may have felt like this person that you parted ways with really backstabbed you or betrayed you or stole something valuable from you. And like I always say, and I'll try to remember to say more often, because somebody recently got really triggered by one of my readings and I felt terrible about it. And so I just want to remind people, this happens all the time though, no matter how many times you remind people. It's hard with tarot because themes can be universal among people. And so when recurring complex human themes come through, it's like, man, that reading is for me. It's easy to start feeling like every reading is for you, but then they're not. And so then if a confusing or stressful message is coming out, it can be really triggering. So I just like to say, if you're getting stressed and upset and like freaked out and afraid or mad at me or, then the reading is probably not for you, and it might be a good time to like log off or not listen anymore. These should feel good and like uplifting and confirming, or else engaging and like intriguing, not scary and upsetting and anger inducing. So that's how they should feel. They should feel like confirmation and like, oh, thank you. I was suspecting that, or intuitively I knew that, but I didn't know, or whatever. Oh, my cat's laying down by me, threw me off for a minute. So let's see, what is and this is the card that came out. This card came out in the preliminary poll, death, and it's in the heavens position. So there's a divinely or a fated or a larger than us kind of ending occurring, and we are not the ones in charge. So that's the first message to kind of come out. It's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. So it looks like, yeah, it's been a betrayal feeling or a souring of a relationship here, like a parting of ways, like we said. Something went wrong, and the friendship or the good feeling, the goodwill, the good vibes between you is over. This is Two of Cups in the reverse. And it's really put you or the collective into a feeling of, am I ever going to cross the finish line? Like whatever you've been working on, whatever you've been doing, whatever endeavor you've been really committed to that ended up fracturing this relationship, you feel really burdened by the whole thing. And you're wondering if there's ever going to be an end to it, to the conflict, to the stress, to whatever. Usually when the Ten of Wands appears, you know that it is eventually going to come to an end, and this is a really good sign that it's about to come to an end, or the hard part of it is about to be over. You're about to be on the other side of it, but right now you're not there. You're right in the thick of it. You're trying to make your way there, and that's also the overall theme is or message is remembering that you can't, maybe that you can. There is, I don't know, like, what am I trying to say here? Never say never, or like, there might be like a feeling of like, no matter how tired or exhausted this situation has made me, I know it's right, and so I need to see it through. That maybe is the theme, because there was justice of like theft of your work or plagiarism. So seeing it through is important because it's your work, right? It's your creative work. It's part of who you are. And that's what I think, like non-creatives, like I did a reading recently where I kept hearing this channeled, like, you're not creative, you're corporate. Like, why would I? And I was just watching the whole Netflix thing on Puffy that's come out right now. And they were just talking about that, how he had a major hang up and insecurity because he lacked talent. He had the business know-how, but he lacked talent. And so he felt threatened by and competitive with his artists and was like ripping them off and being passive aggressive, like secretly hating them kind of shit, right? This is striking me as something kind of like that. Like maybe that's what happened, is that you parted ways with someone who was standing you. Like Puffy would stand somebody like Suge Knight or something, right? Who admired or envied the fact that Suge had real street credibility and Puffy didn't have as much. He had to kind of have his clout for the street from by association with Biggie and whatever. And I'm not from that culture. So it came out because I was just watching that documentary right before sitting down. So that's a great example of something like that, right? I mean, I'm a huge hip hop fan, but that's not, and I will just say this though, I was a huge fan then, and I remember when all of this was playing out, I was kind of watching the documentary a little bit tongue in cheek because 50 Cent has his own beef, right? Or hang up or whatever with Puffy. And so I was like, well, we'll see, but it's actually, I'm really impressed so far. I'm halfway through it. And I'm blown away because I remember it all. I loved Tupac and Death Row, and so and still do. I still listen to them. They're still in my rotation. And so I was like blown away watching this to be like, God, I remember all of this happening and unfolding in real time, and it's wild to see behind the scenes. So anyways, that's a big sidebar. You put a stop to it. You put a stop to this relationship. Someone might have offered you crumbs and you were like, are you kidding? This is my creative work. Like, no, we're parting ways. Maybe I'm somehow ended up, okay, oh my God, this would be so funny if this is what happened. When I did the preliminary poll earlier, I might have actually picked up on the story of Puffy and the rivalry because it feels like what's coming out here, actually. And probably that wouldn't be that weird because I picked up on it because I was going to watch the documentary later. Okay, so let me just see. Yeah, dude, because Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords, it would indicate, if we're talking about the East Coast, West Coast, Tupac, Death Row, Bad Boy, all of that, Ten of Swords and the Death card would equal that murder and that assassination of Tupac, okay? So, and then later of Biggie, okay? So this is the end of the friendship, and it was talking about how they were tight Biggie and Tupac didn't have a beef. They didn't have a rivalry, but Tupac didn't want to work with Puffy, and then Puffy got butthurt about that, right? Is what the theory is anyways, is what they're saying. So this is the layout, and I think the reason it's coming out is because it's contemporary, because that's unrolling right now. It's the number one thing on Netflix right now. So everybody's probably engrossed and watching and intrigued, and it was very fascinating and still is. And the whole creative and plagiarism and theft of your creative work, that's what Puffy's being accused of, is that he ripped off his artists, and, you know, all of that. It's all right here. And it speaks to something like it would come out during a Gift of the Magi layout, because we're speaking about things that are spiritual in nature, in my opinion. Creativity is spiritual. And then you try to blend that with the corporate world, and it's like, well, what the shit is happening? Like, are we going to have a bunch of Jim and Tammy Faye Baker happen, right? Like, it's just stuff like that, like exploitation of something that's beautiful and maybe considered sacred. And then what happens once that, you know, once something like that gets corrupted? I don't know. So that was the Gift of the Magi layout. Soothsayer, tell me how many used female socks are in my future. Wow, that is so hilarious. Wow. I have no clue what that even means. But I feel like it's a trolling attempt to me. So thank you for trolling me. Let's pull on some other issues now. We'll just see, did anyone have a question? Oh, hi, Levian. I don't know how to say that. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Okay. I'm actually gonna do something quickly. I just hid that comment from that person because I was just reading about bots coming to your chat. If you have someone that's hating on your channel, they can send bots to your chat and try to get you in trouble with YouTube. And that was, I feel like the more I thought on that message, I'm like, that seems like a really offensive message, honestly, if I understood it right. So I should probably go ahead and block that person out of my chat instead of just ignore it, because I don't want my channel to get attacked, right? So anyways, in fact, let's cleanse that kind of shit out of here right away. Let's just get that all out. And then, since there's maybe still some people in the chat, if you want me to ask a question for you of tarot, I'll do that right now. I can ask, since I don't have any other planned messages, because I thought, once I realized that's the Biggie and Tupac story that I pulled on, it's like, well, that's cool, but I don't want to read on that for live reading. That's not what I'm doing here. So if you have a question, I can answer a question or ask tarot for you. If not, I'll just go ahead and maybe do another layout and talk about that interesting conspiracy stuff I feel like I stumbled on, and then just call it good. But looks like a couple people asked a question, so let me just... Oops, now I lost my glasses. Where did I put those down? Because I can't read your question without it. Great, yeah. Go ahead and ask me a question. I would love for you to. Go ahead and just enter it into the chat, and I'll ask for you. And this is to Levi Anthony, duh. I just figured it out. Levi Anthony, please ask your question, and I'll go ahead and ask. Hi, Madhu. What is your relationship's future? Excellent. Let's find that out. What is the future of this relationship for this person asking this question in my chat? Thank you so much for being here. What's the future of the relationship? seeing red polka dots for some reason. Not literally, like I'm not seeing spots before my eyes, but I don't know why. In my third eye, I'm seeing red polka dots. So this column represents you, and this column represents the person that you're interested about and asking about the future of the relationship. And the center is what's running between you right now, currently. So I also like to say, or remind people, I need to do this more often, but if you don't like how things are going in a reading, usually nothing is fixed in stone. Reality is, you can bend it. So if you don't like the direction something is heading, you can take that information and think, maybe I can approach this differently and I'll get a different outcome. So I just want to say that. So over here, you are on fire for this person. It's showing you having a lot of passion and interest for them. You're really, really, you want a new beginning with them. You're very passionate with them, about them, I mean. You might have really intense physical chemistry with this person, okay? Like you might be really attracted to them sexually, physically. They might hit all of your criteria for what you're attracted to in a person. In your heart, you might feel trapped for some reason, maybe trapped by your passion. You might feel so passionately about this person that it makes you feel a little bit out of control or trapped, or you may feel trapped because they are not sure about the relationship and you feel a little bit at the mercy of their decision making. This is kind of the energy that you're in currently, but you're definitely on fire for this person. This is very fiery energy. Over here represents them, and they see you as possibly a little bit out of control of your passion, okay? They may also feel a little bit concerned about the level of attraction and passion that you feel. The Page of Wands is also can indicate good news. So they may feel affectionate towards you and feel good about it, but also a little bit unsure, or like you may not, like this might be somebody like a player. So if a woman, if we're talking about a man and a woman is attracted to a man that's a player, but she's more serious as a person, she might be worried about that, right? Like, oh, is he really going to be serious? Can I really trust him with my heart? Or is he going to be more of a play with me and then throw me away, right? It could be a concern. Because in her heart space is the Four of Pentacles, and that means that she feels a little, or he or she, whoever, I don't know if I'm speaking about a woman, but they feel protective and guarded a little bit. And I think it's because they're worried, they are not sure they can trust you, because they might think that you're just out for sex, okay? Yeah, where in the energy running between you is that there's concern for both of you, that there might be a runaway train here. The passion is too out of control. There may also have been a concern of cheating. She may be worried because he or she, again, I don't know if this is a man and woman, but someone may have been cheated on here in the past with this Knight of Wands in the reverse. It may be that she feels or he feels that they can't trust you anymore, and that's in between you because they don't feel like they can trust you. Or maybe it's you who is worried that you're not going to be able to trust yourself, okay? It could be something like that, but there's a concern about this, and it could be either infidelity or not having enough maturity, maybe. There's a gesture between you, like you may have just made a gesture to them or they made a gesture to you. There's like communication going back and forth and possibly a proposal. You might be thinking about proposing to them or vice versa. You might be talking about getting married. But in any case, there's discussion between you right now about your relationship, or you're both at least thinking about the future of it and what's going to be, and communicating, I think, probably as well. Where it's headed is a Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles in a relationship usually shows me that people are not going to come together and become a couple. They're going to stay on their own. But that doesn't mean that that can't change, okay? So if you're really upset to hear something like that, that would be a fix, is to say, like, I'm committed because I want you to be able to trust me. So I'm aware that you think that because I'm so passionate that I can't be relied on, and I'm going to prove to you that that's not the case, right? I'm going to really dig in and show you that you can trust me, or the other way around, right? Flip it how it needs to go. So, because that's where the energy is headed. Right now, this person's like, I don't think so, or I like you a lot, but I don't feel like I can trust you. I feel like you're just interested in one thing, and I'm better off to stay on my own in that case, right? I don't know if this is resonating. I haven't even checked, sorry. He's the passionate one, not me. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, got it. This makes sense. This makes sense. So let me pull some clarifiers now for that Nine of Pentacles and where the energy is headed for you. I need to, and sorry, I should have checked earlier before I kept going on and on. I'm still learning how to do the reading plus check the chat, right? And so I got all off on a tangent in my own telling of the story, and I forgot to check in with you. Sorry about that. So I'm asking now about the future of the Nine of Pentacles. You might, let's just see what that means. What does that mean? The Nine of Pentacles here. Can we get some clarity on that? So I have the Two of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So it strikes me as a little bit of a disappointment that you might be facing here in this relationship. But it's not major, okay? It's not a major disappointment. So it might not be a breakup. It might just be deciding we're not going to be, it might not be that extreme, right? It might be that there's still going to be some struggle for a while, and some, if they're not with you because of work, yeah, I see what you're saying, that there's work involved that's getting in the way, and that would make sense why this Nine of Pentacles is saying so literally that you're single because of his work. I mean, it's like literally saying it. And that's causing you the disappointment, because you also are really creative and fiery and have a good feeling about him, okay, with this card right here, with this Page of Wands. And so you see an opportunity, you see the opportunity, but there's disappointment for some reason. Maybe it's work related. Let's see what the disappointment is that's coming. It's not major. I just want to say that, because there's good things coming too. A Nine of Pentacles is a positive card. It's not negative. Sometimes it can feel negative in a love reading because it usually means being single. But let's see. What's that Nine of Pentacles? There's an opportunity approaching, but there's some disappointment too. But it's like making the best of something. So maybe the hope would be that he was going to find a new job and maybe had an application in, but he didn't get the new job. So there's going to be waiting a lot longer before you can be together or something like that. What is the disappointment? There might be something to do with your differences in your spirituality, because it's talking about Motown and gospel music, but it's in the reverse. I don't know what that would be. tarot reading in the upright. What I'm feeling is that it's saying not to overthink it. It's just saying not to overthink it. It's like study and bookworm in the reverse, magical practices in the reverse, gospel music in the reverse. So it's almost like I feel like what it's saying is that it's almost saying don't even worry about it anymore. Just trust things to unfold. But something about that is not feeling 100% it. I don't know what that is. Let me just pull some other cards to make it come together a little better. What in the heck does that mean? What does this mean? This Nine of Pentacles in the future. This involves an ancestral pattern. Look to your lineage or bloodline. So there might have been some difference spiritually between you around Christianity or witchcraft. And there's something about this that has to do with your lineage or bloodline or ancestry. Are you a card reader? Oh, how to get out of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you for all that information. I appreciate it. Well, yeah, well then this makes sense. Yeah. What else, Spirit? What else about that Nine of Pentacles? You know what I can do for you if you want? I can do an advice layout for you. Sing to clear your throat chakra and lift your spirits. So doing something to uplift your emotions is going to be really helpful for you right now going forward. That's going to be helpful to help with the clear communication between you. You've already stated your position clearly, and he's still playing a little bit is what it sounds like. This also means literally, though. It's literally advice to sing because it will uplift you and clear away some of this upset and hurt that you're feeling about the situation. But if you want me to, I'll go ahead and pull you some advice cards now, too, since we finished that situational reading. If you want me to, I'll just do a quick, what's some good advice for you to let go, if you want. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about that conspiracy stuff, because I just think it's weird. It's like, what? Yeah, okay, great. Okay. What's some good advice for that situation for you, since you're kind of feeling frustrated and that you guys are just at an impasse. Like you kept making room for him and you kept not trying, and so it's like, well, what the hell? I feel for you. I've been there. I've had an experience like that. Don't give up hope. In general, with the star card here, I feel like it's almost like full circle with the Star of Bethlehem in the beginning, because this is a gift of a Magi reading. Don't worry about it. Like, don't give up hope. Don't let this relationship get you down, right? There's really good things coming for you. That's part of the advice. Yeah, this has got you sad in your heart. It shows with this Three of Swords right here. It's disappointing. So it's disappointing. The challenge is you put a lot of work in, like you said. You already acknowledged that in the comments and in the chat, that you really worked to try to get this to the level where it felt right to both of you, right? Where it felt like the passion was being matched with love and groundedness and regard and being together, right? The challenge was is that you started realizing, like, I can't keep trying to accept crumbs. Like, what you're offering me isn't enough, and I can't, like, it just isn't working for me anymore. That's the lesson that you've arrived at. What it's saying is the advice is to find the people that you do work with and who you can build with. The image of this card in Rider-Waite is like people building a cathedral together, and it's the right people doing the right task to build the beautiful cathedral. And it's the brilliant stonemason, the amazing architect, the beautiful stained glass artist, right? Like, they all come together with a shared vision, and the end result is this amazing, beautiful cathedral. That's the advice for you from this layout, is to find those people. This person's not it. When you find those people, it's not going to feel anything like it felt with this person that broke your heart. And maybe it wasn't just him, right? It was circumstance also. It's like it was ill-fated or star-crossed in a way, right? And this is star. Find the people that are for you, that are fated for you, right? And in that is where you find your peace. That's where you find your peace from the sorrow, is by being with the people that, and it doesn't have to be another lover. It can just be your community, the community of people that do love you, that do vibe with you, that do honor and, have a future with you, right? So I hope that's helpful. And I'm sorry, because I know that, I've definitely been there. So now, if there's no other questions from anyone else, I will talk a little bit about the weird. Okay, I don't see any other questions really from any other about tarot. So what I'll just do is bring up this weird thing about this artist. So I've been hearing recently, I don't know if anyone out there follows Jaguar Wright, but she talks a lot about everything that's going on in the industry and hip hop and pop music. Like, her main world is hip hop, right, and rap. But she talks about, she just did an upload recently about Britney Spears and Kevin Federline. So she knows a lot about the entertainment industry, especially in music. And she's been a guest on Piers Morgan and stuff. And she talks about, like, industry shadiness, like deep levels of conspiracy and plants, like people implanted in the industry to take other people out because of the money involved and the competitive nature of it. And there's even certain segments of that world that believe that there's like spiritual stuff happening, like sacrifices and whatever. And to me, as someone who's always been like, that just has never been my world. Conspiracy theory has never been my world. But kind of recently, as the world has gotten more and more bizarre, I've been a little bit more like, well, what is this really about? And some of it's been because I've been personally impacted. But this is not like anything that hurt me, but it was just something that I feel like I stumbled onto, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So it's this recording artist, and they're from Great Britain, and it's not like they don't have any talent. I can see that they have talent. Their name is Ren, and he's someone who's like chronically ill. He has like, I think, Lyme disease, and he went through a healing journey of like getting really sick and getting misdiagnosed, and then finally getting the right diagnosis and getting back on track. It had interrupted his music career, and then all of a sudden he supposedly like 2 or 3 years ago went viral and now is like blowing up as this recording artist. Well, it's like out of nowhere, I just started getting inundated with content about Ren, and I'm like, who the fuck is Ren? I don't care about Ren. Like, I just was irritated. I was like, why is this suddenly like bombarding me? I couldn't figure out where it was all coming from. it started on Blue Sky, and then all of a sudden it was in my YouTube too, and I'm like, who is this? And I would listen a couple times and I'd be like, I don't like it. That's fine. He's got talent. It's just not my sound or whatever. And it's not that original. It's other people have done what he's doing. But you would think that he was like the second coming. Like when you go on to look about his material and his online presence, like literally his presence is like inundated, flooded with like loyal, amazed listeners, like just like he's God or something, right? And it's like, he's not that good, and he's relatively unknown. Like, who are these people that are like borderline worshipful of him? And so for me, I was suspecting these are like paid fans, is what I thought. And they were like just flooding Blue Sky. And so I started blocking all of them because they were adjacent to me as a music fan and as whatever. And Blue Sky didn't, it's not like Twitter. They don't have like in the multi-millions like Twitter. So there's more intersections still happening on Blue Sky. And so I was like, I just don't want anyone that has fake followers, fake music, fake account. Like, I don't want anyone like that near my channel. It just seems shady and suspect. So I was blocking all of them, but then it was happening on YouTube. So I would go on his YouTube content and be like, who are these people that, because he has like this whole crew of like renegades and like whatever. And I know there are loyal fan groups like that. Like Ween has a fan group like that. Idols has a fan group like that. I get annoyed by that kind of shit, but I'm a fan of Idols and I'm a fan of Ween. I'm just not a part of the crew that's like Ween or die, Idols or bust, or I am annoyed by that kind of thing. But as I was looking in all of Ren's videos comments, it's like it's just fake. I think I can tell. It's all positive, and it's all like not just like love it, or it's like people writing books about, and some of it's genuine because he's a real recording artist. You can tell he's like really being video, but there's a ton of fake content about him that seems manufactured by him through adjacent like other YouTube accounts that are like, I promote pop culture, but I only have 900 followers, but now all of my videos are about Ren, right? Like, it's just suspect. It's super suspect. And I think he's fake. I think he's a fake, like, I think he's created a fake following for himself in order to try to launch him to a multi-million-dollar recording artist or whatever. It's crazy the amount of like, those reaction videos where people listen to somebody's genius music and they're like, I've never heard anything like this. There's like 20 of them about him, and he's not that big of an artist. So it's like, who are he's even got a mention on Joe Rogan, and it's like, I look and I watch this and I'm like, Joe Rogan got paid to mention this guy on his channel. You can just tell, and it's just fake as fuck. And it bothers me. I don't know. I'm late to the game. This must have been going on for a long time, and I'm just now catching on to it. And it's like, well, I don't want that for my channel, because I'm learning all these things about how, and I've seen it on other tarot channels where you'll look on their comments and it's just like people advertising in their comments, and like, I'm worried about something like that happening to me, and I feel a little bit behind the ball because it's like, wow, this is this whole world that I don't know anything about. And I think he's a fake. I think he's like bot fans. That's what I think about Ren. And Ren's fans, the renegades, I think they're fakes. And I think it has to do with, because his whole persona is about vulnerability and how amazing it is that he's willing to be so vulnerable. He's willing to be so vulnerable. Nobody does that. It's so vulnerable. It's so raw. Ren is changing my life. It's so vulnerable. He's talking about dark topics like suicide and mental illness. And it's like, dude, people have been talking about that shit forever in music and art. Ren is not a genius that stumbled on this for the first time and is now like, yeah, he does his own unique way and it's good. But they're talking about him like he's breaking the mold, and he's not. And so it's like, that's why I think it's fake. I know enough about talent that I can go on and look and be like, yeah, he's talented, but he's not Eminem. Maybe he would be someday, I don't know, but he doesn't want to wait. So he's doing things like buying fans, and I totally think that's what's going on. There's another thing I've been following, and it's from True Crime, and one of the crime victims' surviving family members, Cresha K. Easton, she's got her own channel. I mentioned her on here before. She's doing a parallel kind of thing in her world with understanding who are the players involved and the tragedy that impacted her family. And she has started saying, like, I think this one channel, Hidden True Crime, which has hundreds of thousands of followers, she was like, I think this is a plant. I think it's a controlled opposition plant from the LDS Church. And the more I started listening to why she thinks that, I was like, I think she's right. I totally agree with her. And I don't know how it all comes together, but it's something to do with like men's vulnerability, mental health, and the entertainment industry. And it's very bizarre. And there's all these like intersecting themes with like men's vulnerability. I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know what the conspiracy is, because I feel like I've only just sort of started to see into it. And there's other people that are like, no, it's deep, and it's all through the industry, and it's this, and it's that. And there's, and it's like, maybe, I guess, I don't know. I find it really interesting. I think this guy Ren is fake in terms of all of the fans that he's acquired so far. I think he's bought a lot of them. I think Hidden True Crime has done the same thing. And they're now, because that 9-hour live, the whole narrative around it, until uninvolved people started getting courageous enough to question it, was about how vulnerable it is and how amazing that is, and how Lauren and True Crime, and nobody's ever talked so openly and so raw about the competitiveness and true crime. And then it all just became revealed as this big fucking sham, right? That's what I think is going on with this Ren guy. So I don't know how it all relates. I just wanted to share it because I think it's really suspect. So maybe I'll just pull one more card now for the end of this reading. I'm sad that the reading that came out was a reading about Puffy. That's not really what I wanted to do, a general reading, but I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to try to keep everybody here and do, unless something super intriguing comes out about this. But what's just some final messages for us for this live stream before I close it out for the night. Thank you for being here and for liking and subscribing if you like my work. I didn't get a ton done for collective messages tonight, but I did do a collective upload today, not a live. I just posted it. It's about the end of a relationship. Here and Now, card 32. Card 32. What does this card suggest for us? I like Colette Baron Reid's description, so I read from her book. Something about the present moment is very important. Everything happens in the now, in the present. Only this moment counts. You have what it takes to handle anything today if you let go of the need to look into the future or reflect on the past. Be present and notice what is going on right now. This very moment has the potential for you to create miracles to your life, in your life. It's easy to yearn for a love affair or friendship you may not have right now. One that's more romantic, more fun, more reliable, more passionate. The good old days are gone and a new day has dawned. Let your heart trust that you have everything you need right now, whether you have the relationship you desire or not. Tomorrow is beyond your reach. Yesterday cannot return. The now is all that is available to you. Stay present and aware that in this moment, as you cherish and approve of your beautiful self, you are a magnet for love. Spirit is madly in love with you right now. Did you know that? Turn to Spirit to feel the joy of love in the here and now. What you are working on is golden, and your efforts will leave a powerful legacy. Focus not on meeting a goal in the far-off future, but on creating your dream now. releasing your desire for an outcome and owning that it already exists. It will appear in the material world as if by magic. Claim your prosperity now. The essence is more important than the form. When you are immersed in prosperous thoughts, you automatically tune into a sense of timelessness and unlimited potential. You can act as if, in spite of the temporary outer conditions. You are prosperous at this moment. What you think now becomes your reality. Stay present. Well, that's a good message. So I guess that's going to be it for tonight for this reading. Unless there's not any other questions, I'm kind of sad. Maybe I will just do another layout. You are welcome. Someone asked me to send them some money. Sorry, I can't do that. No can do, but I am going to pull some more cards. I'm going to ask Spirit to do an entirely new layout for us because I don't feel like being done. So I'm going to do one more reading. And hopefully we'll get a useful message, a useful collective message. What would be helpful for us to know, Spirit? I will say again about the Diddy documentary. I follow Dame Dash, and I really like his work a lot. And he posted on Instagram recently, he was like, sorry, Curtis, about 50 Cent. He was like, I'm not going to watch the documentary. I don't believe in taking down another black man. And I was kind of bummed out about it because I believe that Diddy is really egregious in what he did. And I don't think there's anything wrong with shining a light on that. And because he hurt other black people, for one. And I believe that. And so, and it's not for me to be saying anything about, like, I just don't understand. I was sad that Dame said that because I want truth to be told, I guess. And so just, I don't know why I'm saying this. Because again, it's not my culture, but I do love rap and hip hop. I totally was a huge fan of both camps growing. I'm their contemporary. I'm in that age group. So it's a big part of my life. And I was bummed out that I hope Dame Dash reconsiders because there's a lot of really valuable information in the documentary. I'm going to watch the rest of it tonight. So what's a collective message for this collective before I go? Since I'm here and I did the whole setup and wanted to actually do a collective reading and not read about the documentary. What do we need to know, Spirit? So for this collective message, it looks like things sort of ground to a halt in your life, and you were sort of forced to be in a position of watching and waiting while some type of a competition played out. There was a choice on your part to walk away, to stop being in a sort of ungrateful, stagnant energy because things had stopped moving forward for you. You were like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to sit and watch and wait and feel stuck. I'm going to walk away. That's what's coming through. And the facts is that you may feel now like there's a long road ahead because you're walking away from something that wasn't moving forward, and you're leaving the fight. You don't want to compete, whatever it is. You're like, I'm not going to participate anymore. And I don't want to be on that long, hard road anymore. But you may also feel like as you look ahead, you've got a long road ahead of you. So there was a lot of illusion around you, and it got you caught up, and you felt you got stuck in it. Now you're moving to calmer waters, or you're about to, because this has been, or no, what it's saying is, I don't want any more of the same. Like, I need, well, I don't know. You're tired of this lack of movement. It's like you want a tower, and a tower is like a shocking, dramatic, like lightning strike, tower crashing to the ground kind of moment. You're like really wanting that. Where things are headed is a time of truth and wisdom and empowerment. So what was the situation that had you stuck? What were you stuck in? You're walking away, and that's going to empower you. So you are walking away from something into an empowered place, and out of this stuck, calm, no change, stagnancy. It's like you're fighting back against that now and walking away. What happened? What was this about? Yeah, things weren't changing. You were like, this is a nightmare. I would kill for a change. You were like, I gotta get out of here. You went within and realized, I've gotta go. Like, I can't do what I'm doing anymore. There's no change, there's no flow, there's just nothing. And life is passing me by, and I'm just watching and waiting, and it's like, no more. Yeah, you weren't having the new start in life that you wanted. Yeah, and it had you feeling totally at its mercy, almost like you felt totally embattled by this. It's not showing, it's just saying more of how upsetting it was for you. So I'm going to try to pull some intuitive Kev cards to see, what was this? What happened that had you feel like, I just got to get out of this situation? What was going on? I'm hearing, we gotta get out of this place if it's the last thing we ever do. That's like a song from the 50s. You're a rising star. So that explains, like, if you were in a situation where you felt unseen and unrecognized, you were like, yeah, I gotta go. I'm a rising star. Like, see you guys later. I don't know. But it could be something like, if you are a rising star and you live like in a small town or something, this would very much reflect something like that. Like, this is stuck. There's nothing happening here. There's no movement. Nothing ever changes. I want to go to New York. I'm out of here, right? Like, it could be something like that. Yeah, you are very accomplished. But you're broke. Oh, wait a minute here. Now I think the reading is coming through that I picked up on. That is so wild. What in the world, Spirit? Well, Spirit took me on a whole roundabout. Because this is the plagiarism reading. This is what, it wasn't Puffy and Bad Boy and all that, although that story is there. It totally was relevant to that gift of the Magi Spread. Somebody teamed up with you, but they were working against this. They coveted this or were jealous, and that's where that stan is coming in. They're your stan. Okay, so what did they do? What is this karmic femme in the reverse who wanted what was yours? This could also be somebody like the woman that killed Selena or something. It could be a situation. I'm not saying that that's in play here. Nobody's plotting. I'm not picking up like a plot, but it's, you know, I mean, there was theft of your creative work. This partnership with this person was holding you back. What happened? What was going on? Someone came along and offered you a change, and you were like, I need to take it because I'm not getting anywhere in this situation. And so you decided, I'm going to move on and make this change and partner up with these folks. This person is pissed, okay? They may feel abandoned. I'm not saying you shouldn't have done that. That's not what I'm saying, but they're upset. It's animosity in the reverse. So either they're really fucking pissed or there's no animosity on your end, but there is on theirs. I don't know. What happened? Twin flame in the reverse. This person is a stan of yours. They're pretty disturbed is kind of what's coming through. They think that you're really scandalous. Like they think they have a twisted feeling about you is what it's saying, because they're kind of in awe of you, but then they also, like, I'll just use me as an example. Like, I know who I am. I'm not a slut, but sometimes I look kind of slutty, right? So, like, it could be something like that. Like, I'm sex positive, right? So I don't mind looking sexy sometimes, right? I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not a slut. But I don't slut shame, right? Like, I'm sex positive. So I love pinup, and like, I love beautiful women. Like, I like looking at beautiful women. So it's like somebody that you may have that quality. And this person admires you from afar, but also thinks and judges you for your, sex positivity or something. It's just coming out. They're also jealous because they think that you have all these good things coming, right? And they don't want it for you. Like, they may have tried to get in between you and your twin flame, or I don't know why a twin flame is here in the reverse, but they tried to interfere with your future. You might have confided in this person. This could totally be a relationship like Selena and her manager, okay? And as Selena was getting more and more successful and her manager was losing control and like having to share Selena, and Selena, I think, got married, and her manager was her manager couldn't handle any of that. It's something like that. It's something like that. This person is like Selena's manager to you, and you're like Selena. And these people want to work with you, and you're like, yeah, that's where the energy's headed. This person at this point, Selena... There was talk that Selena was actually going to part ways with her manager, but I don't remember now that story. It's been a long time since I've looked at the story of Selena, so I can't remember exactly if her manager was going to be let go or not, but I feel like something pushed her over the edge. And there's now going to be a legal situation because of this. So you might have been in a contract with this person, and now or a relationship of some type, and now you're parting ways. And there might be a legal process involved with that. There might be a child custody situation involved. This person's someone may have lied about a pregnancy in this situation as well. Where's things headed? Because it talked about the King of Swords in the future. So let me pick these back up, and now I'm going to ask, where are things headed for the future? Because the King of Swords in the upright is the outcome card. So what does that mean? Because now that we have the background, you're walking away from your connection with that person that's been sabotaging you. So now with the King of Swords in the future, what does that mean? Maybe you're going to be collaborating with that King of Swords. You're going to be in a legal process. The King of Swords means the judge, I think, in this case. So you are a masculine. For some of you, you're a masculine that I'm reading for. I mean, it doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter ever. But I suddenly picked up on a thread for a masculine who got in a situation where there's a dispute over the paternity of a child with that child card in the reverse, and there was maybe going to be some outcome in court where that's revealed that this person's attempt to trap them with a child in a relationship has been blocked. It's going to be blocked by this upright legal situation and this upright judge behaving in a respectful way because you're respectable, or because, I don't know. It's a positive outcome for you is where things are headed. Away from this bondage that you got trapped in. There's jealousy and envy present, though, from a toxic feminine. And she might have... Yeah, she was trying to stop this from happening, but she didn't succeed. She came out as the karmic feminine in the reverse, right? She was the one working against this and trying to stop this. So she might be somebody that knows you and your counterpart, and she was working actively to keep you apart. It could be that you were like twin flames, and this person was the third party in the equation that was trying to prevent you from coming together because of jealousy, because of whatever, right? For a lot of reasons why that would happen. So that is going to do it finally for this reading tonight. It was a little bit all over the place, but that's all right. I'm learning that I don't have to, that I can be flexible with my channel and my content, and it's okay if my live reading contains a lot of different information and a few different threads and streams of messages. And there's another reader that I read, and sometimes she'll do a whole like 2.5 hour live stream, and like 4 different stories come out, and it's like, I can do that too if I want. There's no rules. I don't know why I don't remember that more often. Well, it's because we live in a society that's got way too many rules. So you just think everything you learn to feel like any free movement is possibly against the rules. So, all right. Thank you again for being here. If you like my work, please like and subscribe and come back for more. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.